When I say get you an at-home barber, get you an at-home barber. I guess welcome back to Lorraine's World, featuring my dad.
Welcome to the barber shop.
Lorraine's World's Barbershop. Oh, let me sit down. Today we're going to be talking about my hair, my haircut journey, and how I went from being super attached and having really long hair my whole life to now having a buzz cut. And we have my dad here because he's my barber. I feel like it's important to say this is my stepdad, and the reason why I think it's important to say that is because he chooses to be my dad. He came into my life when I was 9. There was me and my sisters, so there was 4 girls, and my mom was a single mom of 4. And he stepped up, and he's been our dad ever since. I still have a relationship with my biological dad. There's not a slight against him. I'd be nothing without you, homie.
Holla.
I'd be nothing without you. So let's get it started. Oh wait, I forgot to tell you what I want this time.
What's yours?
First of all, he won't let me do 1. Like, we've always been trimming in on a 2. He will not let me do a 1. Why?
What do you want?
Okay. So I want to trim all over, which, by the way, last time you trimmed it, I think you forgot to trim a little bit of this top because it was like a little fuzzier.
Fuzzy?
Yeah.
Right.
So trim all over, but I want the fade higher this time.
Higher?
Like even higher.
Oh, okay, do that.
But you think I wouldn't like a 0 on my neck? How do you think?
I'll do it. Taper it up with 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm scared.
No,
it's okay. It'll
but
grow
it'll
back.
grow up within like 3 days.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay.
All right, cool. So 2 on top, 2 all over, then
2 all over,
fade.
yeah.
Right,
because he won't do 1 all over. Can you explain why you
happen.
won't do 1 all over?
Because I'm not.
Why?
That's why. Because I'm not. No, that's too short. No.
But you don't get to. That's the whole point of this whole hair journey, bruh. Is that you don't get to like. It's the point. It's like it's gonna grow back in a week. What's the big deal?
It's not that bad. But I think the 2 looks nice.
Lorraine's World. It reminds me of remember the Amanda Bynes show when they had their little segment in the bathroom. They said, "Hey girls." That's what my
You
little
asking
thing.
me if I remember whose show?
The Amanda Bynes show.
Okay. Do I look like
Uncultured
I watched
king.
that.
Uncultured king. Like, that's embarrassing. Do you see that little pimple on my head? I tried to pop it the other day. It hurt so bad.
Which one?
Stop. What the helly? What the hell? Bruh, we're recording. Yeah, the one thing my dad's going to try to do is humble me. Like, please.
Oh, I won't say nothing about the other ones. So, it's all good.
You're a liar, hater. By the way, my dog's a liar. He be lying. He's a liar. He didn't think I was actually going to buzz my hair when I first started cutting it and stuff. He did not. And I told you I was going to do it.
Yeah.
I told you that's what I was
But
working
I
up.
thought it was a little further away.
Yeah. So did I.
Yeah, I thought a little further
Trust
away.
me, so did I. But I couldn't ignore the pull. That's what it felt like.
I remember you kept calling me wanting to FaceTime. Like, why you want to FaceTime? Just call me and talk to me.
Yeah. Because he was out that day that I had buzzed it. I had buzzed it and dyed it blonde when I first buzzed it. And I wanted to get his reaction on film so I can, screen record it and make a video about it.
And I had no reception where I was at.
Oh, he had no reception.
It was horrible.
And so I was like,
climb up on a hill and.
I was like, where are you? What time will you be available? Will you be available from this time? Around this time, because I knew I'd be done with my haircut. And I knew he would think that's weird because I never do that. Like if I need to call him, I'll just call him.
Yeah.
I don't care. So when I started my haircut journey, it started because I had really long hair, and then I started slowly working up my way to this buzz cut. I told him that was the ultimate goal was to get to a buzz cut, and he's like, "You're never gonna do it," and it makes sense why, because I've had long hair my whole life. Like, if you ask anybody who has known me a long like a big portion of my life, nobody would have thought. I wouldn't have even thought if you told me 2 years ago this is where I'd be. I said, just stop speaking craziness into my plans. Like, stop speaking craziness over my life. Don't bother me with that bullshit. But here we are. It grows out really fast though. That is the only part. He's here every week and a half.
Yeah, that's the bad
I'll text him and I'm like, I need you to come trim my hair. He's like, didn't I just trim it? I'm like, yeah. A week and a half ago, it's starting to get fuzzy. So are you doing a 0 right now? Or are you doing a 1?
I'm doing a half.
Oh, there's half.
Yeah, it's half. So it's a half.
Okay, cool. You want to talk about your hair journey a little bit?
Oh yeah, it started falling out, so I cut it off.
Oh.
So.
It started falling out, bro?
Well, I told you. I didn't know
you said you've had
out.
grays. You said you started getting grays at 16.
I was gray. I was fully gray by. I wouldn't say fully. I would say 90% gray at about 25 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, I still had hair.
Did people think you were older because of it, or no?
No, I looked young.
Okay.
I mean, I got carded until I was dang near like in my 30s.
You're so young.
Yeah.
You look so young, bro.
Don't hate. Don't hate. But I had umpteen hairstyles. I mean,
really?
whatever.
Wait, what did you have?
So
I know you had a fro.
As a kid growing up, yeah, I had a fro. In the 70s, I had a fro. And then from there, I went to Jerry curl.
Dre, you have never shown me a picture of you with the Jerry curl, bro.
Oh man.
Oh, so you were a trend follower.
Yeah, my hair was there, whatever the hairstyle was. I mean, in the black neighborhood, the hairstyle is you can tell what time of what year it is by the hairstyle.
Yeah.
And then I cut it off and then it was the
How old were you with the Jerry curl?
10th grade. I cut it all off. That's when short hair, because I had long hair my whole life.
Did you ever have a buzz cut?
Never. Growing up, never. I always had an afro.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
And then in the early 80s, people started cutting their hair with it was called the covatis.
Covatis?
That's the hairstyle. It was short hair, and you get the wave. That was before the do-rag. So back then, you
didn't grow up with do-rags?
No, there was no such thing as do-rag. You get your mama's old pantyhose.
Oh, shit.
And cut them up, and you had to get like the calf part. This part was too loose. The thigh was too loose. It would fall off.
Oh, shit.
You get the calf part, and you cut it up, tie a knot on it. I would only get a bad one. Like, if you had a bad one, give me a bad one.
Okay.
And so I would do that and get my waves. She had a
Troy, I have never seen pictures of you with waves or a Jerry curl, bro. I've only seen it with the afro or bald.
Yeah.
You purposely you hold it out?
I don't. It's my
You're
mom
holding out on
that? Yeah, maybe look through her photo albums.
No,
Look through
I
her
guess
photo. I haven't seen some.
Okay, yeah.
But it was.
Because I want to see the.
Yeah, no. So I mean, whatever the style was, that's what I had. So I went from the short hair. Like I said, I had the waves, and then that one for a little bit, and then the high top fade, the flat top.
Okay.
So I had a flat top, so once again, I let it grow long. I had a big old tall, flat top. That only lasted a couple of years. I was out here by then, so nobody was taking pictures of me. From that, I went to just instead of the high top fade, just went to a regular flat top. And after the flat top, I just started cutting it short. It was a 1 on top, 0 on the side.
So when did you go bald? I thought you started shaving bald when you turned 16.
No,
I don't know why I
started
remember
shaving
that
bald. I was in my late 20s, and my hair was like I said, I had a 1 on top, 0 on the side, high fade.
Okay.
I would cut my own hair.
Yeah.
And somebody dared me, man, your hair is so short, just cut it all off. Like, cool. Yeah, I shaved it and probably wore it like that for maybe 3 years or so.
Completely bald?
Yeah, and I said, I'm gonna grow it back. And I tried to grow it back and like, ooh.
You patching?
There's something missing right there.
Oh shit. A little patchy.
Yeah, like, well, this
didn't
ain't going
realize.
Then I kept it shaved.
So how old was that?
That was
you were already living out here?
Early 30s.
And this is when you were practicing abstinence and praising the Lord.
Yeah.
Just like me.
Yes, praise the Lord.
Just like me, brother.
Yes, Lord. Yeah, yes, Lord. That's all I gotta say.
By the way, my dad is like my best friend. I tell him stuff he don't want to know. I tell him stuff he don't want to know.
For sure.
It's funny. It's like, let's talk about it. Like, let's hee together. Okay, you want to take a video so I can see how it looks?
Professional hair play. This is professional.
He does this every time. That he'll tell me how professional he is. So is that a clean fade?
No, it's not clean. It's just, your hair is just
I want to make sure it's not
little
choppy.
blonde right there. Blonde here.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. It shows you where your hair grows at. You like a little blonde on the tip.
What
right
if
here.
I can never grow my hair back like you?
Grow.
What if I'll be like this forever?
You ain't got no patches, so you're all right.
I appreciate you.
Nice to meet you guys. Take care. See you next time.
Thank you, homie. Anyway,
sure.
appreciate you. We're going to continue the story about my haircut journey, how I went from super long hair being so attached to my long hair and finally coming to a buzz cut. I'm not here to tell you what to do, how to think, or how to be. I am simply here to reflect back to you what you already know. to say things out loud that maybe you've only whispered to yourself. And if nothing else, I hope that something I share here invites you back home to yourself, to your body, and to your own inner knowing. The whole reason that I started cutting my hair was to practice the concept of detachment. So what is detachment? Detachment isn't, I'm detached, like I don't feel anything, I'm not feeling anything. No. Detachment says I'm detaching myself from the outcome. I'm detaching myself from anything outside of me. So this whole journey with my hair started because I was having a conversation with somebody, and in this conversation, they suggested to me, they were like, I think you look really nice with short hair. And I had it felt like an internal gut punch, because I've always been very attached to my long hair. And it's because I saw it as an extension of my beauty, but not just an extension, but kind of like something that identified my beauty. It was like, I felt like if I didn't have long hair, I wasn't considered beautiful. And I don't think this is a unique experience. I think this is a very widely universal experience with a lot of women, but I'm gonna be talking about it from my personal standpoint. And so this happened in late summer of 2022, which was 3 years ago, which is when my hair journey began. But when this person told me this, it felt like an internal gut punch. I was like, what do you mean? Like, why would you say that? And do you think I'm not pretty with my long hair? Why would you suggest me to have short hair? Like, all of these thoughts started spiraling in my head. And what I know to be true now, but what I was practicing back then, was anything that made me have an internal or external reaction, whether that be something someone said, something someone did, it meant that that thing had control over me. That thing was able to excite an extremish reaction from me, whether that be internal or external. It felt like a gut punch, which already was a red flag to me. I was like, why would I even, that was such a simple and innocent suggestion from somebody. It was just something that somebody saw that I couldn't obviously see. And it challenged an insecurity of mine, right? Of like my beauty and what I thought my beauty was and what I thought the capacity of what my beauty could be. And because I attached the idea or the identity of my beauty to my hair, like I literally, it didn't matter what I wore for my outfit as much. It didn't matter if I was wearing makeup or not, because I'm not really a makeup wearer. And I'm not a makeup wearer because I just don't like the way it looks on my face, and I'm not very good at it. I think makeup is so cool, but it just, even when I have all three of my sisters have been married, and at each one of their weddings I had to get my makeup professionally done, and I cried at each one of these because I just hate the way heavy makeup looks on me. But anyways, my hair was my favorite and most important accessory. I always thought if I have a cute hairstyle, nothing else matters. Like, at least my hair looks fire, right? And so this innocent suggestion sparked curiosity within me, because I was already in the energy or environment or concept of practicing detachment. I didn't like the idea that anything outside of me can control me. I started realizing that my attachment to a certain outcome or a certain way that things needed to be was controlling whether I was happy or at peace or joyous or satisfied. And that bothered me, right? Because I was like, no, like, I know where my beauty comes from. Like, I know it's in my heart and even in my mind and my soul. Like, it has nothing to do with what's outside of me, but I have been conditioned, and a lot of us have been conditioned through society, through our families, through traditions, that you are only beautiful, you are only acceptable, you are only desirable a certain way. And so I said, not me, not anymore. So I was like, okay, how do I practice this idea? How do I practice this idea of detachment? And I was like, I gotta cut my hair. But I was like, no, I can't cut hair because then I'm gonna be ugly, you know? Okay, and the reason why, let me also say why I was like traumatized when I was younger. So when I was 18, I was a senior in high school, and this was the summer. I don't know if I was probably 17, but it was the summer from junior year into senior year that Selena Gomez was the vibe, okay? Me and my sister loved Selena Gomez. We loved watching her on Disney Channel. We loved listening to her music. And she came out with that music video. I don't remember what the song is called, but she had short hair that was obviously styled. obviously styled, right? I didn't understand styled hair versus regular hair, okay? And my sister and I decided that we wanted to cut our hair like Selena Gomez. We were like, that's the hairstyle of the year. That's the hairstyle we gotta have. Okay, I was 17, okay? And my mom had a friend that was a hairstylist.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And what I know now is that I have textured hair. My hair has a curl pattern to it. When I was younger, I had very, very curly hair. But because I treated it like straight hair where I just brushed it through, it had more of a wave. Either way, my hair was textured. So we went to this hairstylist that, no fault of her own, but didn't understand that I had a texture to my hair. So she chopped it. Like, it was so traumatizing because it was such a bad haircut. And at a young age, or I don't know, any age, when you have low self-esteem and you have these really deep insecurities, it was traumatizing. And so I hated the haircut. I was miserable for months, probably like a year, until it finally grew out. And in that time, I promised myself I'm never cutting my hair, right? So fast forward, how many years later? Over 10 years later, I'm having this idea re-brought up in my head, but obviously my body and my mind are remembering how traumatizing that was for me. So I was like, how can I do this? How can I practice this idea of detachment? How can I practice and show myself that I am not attached to anything outside of me? And the way that we become less attached to the things outside of us is practicing giving it up. Like, we have to give up the things that we're super attached to, that we realize we're attached to, because it takes awareness. It doesn't just, we don't oftentimes realize what we are attached to. So I was like, I have to cut it, but how am I gonna do this? I'm too scared. So this was, again, late summer 2022. And when this person even just innocently suggested that I would look nice with shorter hair. And it wasn't until, I didn't cut it until a year later. It took me a year to come to the idea. I'm sure I ignored it at first. I'm sure I was like, yeah, that's cute, and I'll practice the idea of detachment with smaller things. I'll practice the idea of detachment with other things, even just concepts and outcomes and, people we have to walk away from, things like that. I was like, I'll practice detachment there, which was necessary. We build up the muscle to be able to detach from the things that we're super attached to. There are things that we're lightly attached to, and there's things that we're extremely attached to. It took me a full year to come to the idea of actually cutting my hair. So once it hits, so now fast forward a year, we're in late summer of 2023. My sister is scheduled to get married in November of 2023. So I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna like my haircut, but that's where I was detaching from. I was detaching from whether I liked it or not, because that couldn't matter. It couldn't matter what I liked, because how would I know what I really like if I don't give myself the chance to experience it? I was when I had that bad haircut when I was 17 going into my senior year, I was a lot more insecure. I had a lot lower self-esteem. And since then, it has grown and deepened within myself. So how would I know how I feel about having shorter hair if I wasn't giving myself a chance to experience it? But still, it scared me, and that's okay. It's not, I think that we confuse doing bold, courageous new things with a lack of fear, but that's not true. Fear and doing something new goes hand in hand. Nowadays, when I do something I'm scared to do, I'm like, let's go, fear. You're coming with me, because it's still present within me. It just doesn't dictate what I allow myself to do anymore. But okay, so we're in late summer 2023. My sister's getting married a few months later. I was like, I don't know what hairstyle she's gonna want me to have. I don't want to look ugly and her wedding pictures that are gonna last forever. So I decided to do a small chop where I went from here to right around here. I felt accomplished. I was like, okay, I did it. Like, I cut my hair, and it felt significant enough where I was like, okay, I'm taking the first step towards it. But it didn't fully satisfy the moves I really wanted to make when it came to fully detaching myself from my hair. So after my sister got married in November of 2023, in December of 2023, just a month later, I chopped it again, and I chopped it right up to here. And this is where it really felt like me. With each haircut, it felt like me, which is so important, because it started this practice within myself of letting go of what I think I like and don't like and what feels aligned for me in that moment or that time of my life. So I loved it. And honestly, to this day, this length of hairstyle is my absolute favorite. Oh, whenever I grow it out and I go back to that, we're gonna be on and pop, man, because I really like that hairstyle. And I couldn't have appreciated it. I appreciated it so much, and I loved it, and I played with it, and it still was a challenge. It was still new. I was working with the texture of my hair because, again, I always treated my long hair like straight hair, so I was brushing it a lot, brushing it through, which if you have any sort of curl, you're not supposed to be doing. So learning the texture, learning that length was a challenge in itself, but I loved that hairstyle, and I just know now, after buzzing it and stuff, I'm going to appreciate it so much more when it finally grows out. If it ever does, who knows? I don't know. I'm not a future teller, are you? So that was in December of 2023 that we cut it here, and then it grew out a little bit, and then in April of 2024, I cut it like right behind my ear. That was really fun too. That was a challenge. Again, when you're not used to looking in the mirror and seeing, or if you are used to looking in a mirror and seeing a certain thing, it was interesting, but my favorite thing was realizing that I could still do all of my favorite hairstyles. I could still braid it. I could still do the bubble braids. I can still pin it back. I could still put it up a little bit, half up, half down. So I was having so much fun the way I always had fun with my hair. And I wouldn't have known that these different lengths were fun to experiment with, fun to see, fun to push myself to do if I never gave myself the chance, if I didn't practice detaching from this idea of beauty that I had, this idea of even comfort, or this area of comfort that I was living in for so long. So we moved through the summer of 2024, and I get this undeniable pull, this undeniable call to buzz my hair. And I was pissed because I had, again, grown attached to this new length of hair. And this is how I knew that the fulfillment of practicing detachment to my hair wasn't fully fulfilled yet. Because again, going back, excuse me, Coda, I'm speaking. This is so rude. I'm literally speaking to people, Coda, please. Papi, yeah, papi, out. No, not that way. Out the way you came in. Out the way you came in. Come over here. Thank you, my love. When I got the pull or the call to buzz my hair, it was a gut punch. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I knew right away, because my awareness had grown throughout all this time, I was like, oh crap, I'm still attached. And with each cut, I attached myself to a new standard of beauty that I was creating within myself. So it took me a few months. It took me a few months to come to the idea, but I ended up cutting it into a pixie in December of 2024. And this was the most emotional cut I had. So every other cut that I had, I thought I would cry because I'm a very emotional, I'm a very sensitive person, and I let myself cry. And if you know me, you know, like, well, I'll be out with people and I'm like, I'm gonna cry. Don't be alarmed, but the tears are coming, because especially now, I don't feel the need to be socially acceptable. Like, of course, there are times where I can't just start crying, but if I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, like my close friends and family, yeah, I'm gonna start crying if the tears are coming up. I'm not holding this in for you. I'm not storing this in my body just because it might make you a little uncomfortable. But with every haircut that I got, I thought I was gonna cry. But I didn't. I didn't have an emotional reaction with each haircut until I cut it into a pixie. I know there's a conversation about hair holding energy and our hair being energetic extensions of ourselves. So I'm sure there was something there that happened with it because it was such a big chop, and it was the first time I had ever had my hair that short in my life. But I sobbed in my hairdresser's chair for like 30 minutes after she cut it, and I knew I traumatized her because we text after. So Annalisa, I'm so sorry. And she was super kind, super understanding, and she was actually so thorough. She's like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure this is the step you want to take? I can tell you're a little nervous. I was super nervous. I was like, but I have to do this. I had to prove to myself that I could be without something that I deemed important outside of me. I could still show up in the world confidently and sure of myself, even if I didn't have something that I identified as important to my beauty. Especially because when I look at other women who have different hairstyles and wearing different things and doing their own thing, I don't think anything negative of them. I'm like, damn girl, you do your thing, like that works, yes. Why couldn't I apply that same thinking to myself? Why was I so judgmental of myself and so harsh on myself and had these rigid standards of what beauty was and what a desirability was for me, but other people or women could do anything they wanted and that was cool? No. I didn't like that. So I did. I had an extreme emotional reaction. I cried for about an hour because it took me about an hour to get home. So I cried the whole car ride home. I remember calling my sister and I was like, I don't like it. I don't like this. She goes, FaceTime me, send me a picture. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. So I took pictures in my car and I sent them to her and I was crying in the pictures because it was just something so brand new. I looked in the mirror and couldn't fully recognize who I was in that moment. And I'm so glad I did it. Oh my gosh, I am so glad I did it because it birthed a new version of me that I had no idea was waiting to be birthed. It was like the future version of me knew so much better than that current version of me. And she was like, yeah, you're coming here. You don't even know what you're missing. You don't even know who you're hiding on the inside because you're hiding behind your hair. And so after that initial emotional reaction, it only took a few days for me to realize it wasn't even short enough. I was like, I actually don't even love this length. Like I want it shorter on the sides. I want it shorter in the back. Like I need it shorter on top. I needed it shorter everywhere. I was like, all right, the emotional part is over. I released whatever emotions came with it for whatever reasons. And of course I've journaled about this. I know what reasons, but to keep this short and a little less deep, this is where I'll keep it at. And I text my hairdresser and I'm like, hey, can I come back in? Like I need this shorter. And she was like, absolutely, are you sure? And I'm like, I won't cry this time, girl. So we went a little bit shorter. And again, this was December of 2024. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this hairstyle. I enjoyed it felt like I was on the bridge to where I really wanted to be, which was the buzz cut. But to be honest, I was still trying to ignore the call. I was like, all right, I did it. I cut my hair. I proved to myself, like, whatever, maybe I'll keep it at this length, maybe I'll grow it out, I don't know. And I tried ignoring the call for the buzz cut because the initial pull was for a buzz cut, but I didn't want to buzz it again because I identified certain hairstyles with beauty for myself. I capped my potential for outside expression at a certain level because I wanted to be seen or feel beautiful, but those guidelines were rigid, those guidelines were conditioning, those guidelines weren't really what I wanted for myself. And I think that in practicing detachment with my hair, it really had me questioning, why do I believe what I believe when it comes to my own beauty? Why do I believe what I believe when it comes to my self-expression or what I'm allowed to express or wear or do or be or try? And it took 6 more months. I tried to ignore the call. I was like, I already did it. I already did the hard part. I already cut it all off. There's no need for a buzz cut, please. But the call got stronger. The pull started yanking me at my heart of like, you have to do this. You have to fully push yourself. You have to make a bold decision that says, I'm not attached to this. I'm not attached to any form of me that is asking to be released. Because again, with each new haircut, a new version of me was born, a new confidence was born. And it totally plays into that mindset of like, you don't get confidence first. You do the thing that scares you first, and then the confidence comes after. And it's so true. I hate to say it, guys, but it's so true. So it really was just one night that this idea had been building and building and building within me, that I text my hairdresser. I'm like, hey, I want to buzz my hair, and I also want to dye it blonde, and I also want to dye my eyebrows blonde. Because I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take a full leap. I could take a little step in. We already been taking small steps. Let's just leap all the way. But my hairdresser doesn't do hair dye. Like, she doesn't dye hair. So she suggested me to somebody else. And When I text her, it was like 11 o'clock at night on like a Wednesday, and she got back to me at around midnight and then suggested this hairdresser who had one opening the next day for a consultation. I went in, and my Saturday plans that weekend got canceled, and she had an opening Saturday morning. So, you know, it was all meant to be. I was like, oop, it's lining up a little too perfectly right now. And again, I didn't do this without fear. I was scared. What am I gonna look like? Am I gonna like it? But that mattered less and less with each step I took towards practicing this detachment with my hair. It mattered less and less what I like, because what I like, what we like, what our preferences are, is limited to the, oh, I didn't realize my nail was a little dirty with hair. Oops. What we like is limited to our experiences. And if I'm limiting what I allow myself to experience, I'll never know what I really like or don't like, or what my preferences really are in life, because I'm limiting myself. If you go your whole life eating one certain food, how would you know what other foods you like if you don't give yourself a chance to try it? You would just always look at that other food and say, I don't like that. But we don't know unless we try. So I went in for my buzz cut. She bleached it blonde, which I've never bleached my hair before. I have dyed my hair. I guess I did bleach. I did go through a little phase when I was 19. I bleached the bottom of my hair and dyed it red, you know, when that style was in. But I never bleached my roots. I've never bleached my entire hair. And so it was new for me, and I definitely never bleached my eyebrows. And I think the best part about buzzing and bleaching my hair and bleaching my eyebrows was that it didn't matter if I liked it. It felt like me. This cut, this hairstyle that I have feels the most like me. I feel the most free I've ever felt. I feel the most confident I've ever felt. I feel the most beautiful I have ever felt in my life. And it's not that I don't look back at these old pictures of me. I look back at old pictures of me and I'm like, oh, she was cute. Like, okay, cute hairstyle. I like that hairstyle on me. Every hairstyle I like on me. But this hairstyle, this version of myself, I feel the most connected to, I feel the most aligned with, and it feels the most like me. I feel the most confident I've ever felt. And as the bleach was growing out, again, I was scared. I was like, oh no, like, what if I don't like my natural hair color buzz? What if I only liked it because it was a little more artsy and a little more edgy, you know, to have my hair bleached and my eyebrows bleached. I really, really enjoyed the bleach, which we will get back to. But again, it was important for me to know and feel that I can love myself and appreciate myself and enjoy myself at any stage. So when the bleach was growing out a little too long, like, I realized I personally don't like my hair growing out more than 2 weeks. But I think I grew the bleach out probably almost 4 weeks, where I was like, oh, this is getting too long, because I had to start putting gel in it because it was getting too fuzzy. And then I felt like a Backstreet Boy, and I was like, I don't know about all this. So when the bleach grew out, I had my dad buzz it out and just kind of let the rest of the bleach grow out, which is why when my dad was cutting my hair, he was telling me that there still is a little blonde, which is so interesting to see how the hair is growing out. And my eyebrows too. When my eyebrows were growing out back into my natural hair color, which all the bleach is not gone, I did not like it. It looked like little ants on my eyebrows, but it didn't matter. How I looked on the outside just didn't matter anymore. I was like, it doesn't matter. I don't even care if it's like a little undesirable or a little like not cute or not pretty or not clean or whatever. It just didn't matter. All that mattered is I felt confident. I am unwavered, all right? I am unmovable by what my appearance looks like on the outside. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that I pushed myself to cut off the thing I was most attached to when it came to my outer beauty. So when you think about what you might be attached to and what outcomes or circumstances or ways of being that you're attached to, I simply want you to question why. Why are you attached to those things? What conditioning or belief is playing in your head about that? And can you challenge yourself to release yourself from a certain outcome? Can you challenge yourself to release yourself from a certain way of being? Because you have no idea who you're stopping yourself from becoming by holding on to the version of yourself that you are. A lot of the times we lack the self-awareness, right? Self-awareness is a muscle that we practice, and you have to grow that level of self-awareness to even realize these certain things about yourself, but it starts with curiosity. So anytime something is mentioned to you, or you see something in a movie, or you overhear a conversation, or you see someone being a certain way and it causes a reaction within you, like, yes, they can do it, but I can't, just ask yourself why. Why do you believe that you have limitations on yourself? What led you to put those limitations on yourself? And can you take any step today or through the next 6 months, through the next week, whatever, to slowly release yourself from that old belief that's keeping you stuck in a version of yourself that you possibly are ready to outgrow? So thank you for listening to this story time about my hair. And again, you do not need me or anyone else to tell you how to think or how to be. You just need the space to remember that you already know. And your knowing has never left you. It's just waiting for you to listen.
Mic check. I got 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Mic. Chicka, chicka, chicka. Mic check 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2, 1, 2.
What have I done?
Hey.
What have I done?
I'm a microphone fiend.